What is up, YouTube? I'm Gal874 here, bringing you our Week 9 battle of the PEBA. This week we take on Just Jack, or Baldy Growlithe, coach of the Brazumarill. We are going into this game with a 5-3 record, while he is going into this game with a 3-5 record. Now you guys are seeing this on Monday rather than Sunday because we had the battle on Sunday around 6 p.m. and I did not want to rush this upload. And on top of that, I did upload the 8 p.m. stream yesterday, so I didn't want to double upload for that. So it's going up on Monday. But anyway, we are facing Jack. He replaced Gengar Raichu early on in the season, and since Gengar Raichu had a mono psychic team, we allowed Jack to make as many transitions as he possibly could because it's a mono psychic team, let's be real. And he completely revamped this team, so we're going to get into that in a second. But if we do win this game, we basically are locked in for playoffs. But if we do lose, we start to get into that playoff race. While we're up ahead, we would still be in contention for losing out on the playoff spot if I lose. But if I win, again, to reiterate, we are going to make the playoffs, basically. But that is the playoff picture we got. We're going to go into his team. He's got a team. I'll just say that. His team consists of Genesect, Excadrill, Keldeo, Mega Tyranitar, Uxie, Whimsicott with Z-moves, Lycanroc with Z-moves, Weezing with Z-moves, Omastar, Golbat, and Zebstrika with Z-moves. Now, the first thing that pops up on you is a Genesect, and Genesect is pretty scary, but my team actually has some pretty good answers for Genesect, so it actually wasn't the scariest. Defensively, Golbat was a nightmare to go up against, so that thing was actually very annoying compared to the Crobat that young Bisharp had, because the Golbat has more bulk to it, and I'm not bringing either of my electric types this week. Obviously, Genesect's always a threat, and his Sand team could kind of overwhelm Hippowdon, because Hippowdon kind of walls all three of them, but if they overwhelm it, then that could be a minor problem. But I almost wanted to bring an offensive Hippowdon, but I didn't do it because I still wasn't locked to the playoffs yet. Luckily for me, Tentacruel has a really good matchup defensively, and my offense actually really has a nice matchup overall. His team has a really bad weakness to ground and fighting types, so I'm going to try and use that to my advantage. But anyway, that is his team for the week. I'm going to go over my team now. The team that I am deciding to bring consists of Haxorus, Hippowdon, Tentacruel, Mega Diancie, Ash Greninja, and Volcarona. So as I just mentioned, the first one we are bringing is Haxorus. Yes, Haxorus is actually coming to another game. Haxorus is running max attack, 184 speed with a jolly nature, and 72 in HP, with the moves Outrage, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, and Poison Jab, and that noticeable item there, the Choice Band. Now, when I looked at this team, the first mon I threw on was Haxorus. And I originally wanted a Dragon Dance set, but I saw Whimsicott, and I had a really big feeling Whimsicott was going to come to this game, so I decided against the Dragon Dance set and just slapped the Choice Band on it. The only mon this Haxorus can't really touch too much is Golbat, because Golbat is the only mon on his team that gets reliable recovery and is immune to Earthquake, because I'm going to be clicking Earthquake 9 out of 10 times. And even though Whimsicott can come in, it's a Choice Banded Haxorus. It's going to be taking some decent damage, and if I can predict that, Poison Jab does a lot. And Earthquake kind of just does at least a decent chip to everything else to the point where I can deal with it with something else. It's a good cleaner if he's got a slow team he decides to bring. But that's kind of what the Haxorus is here for. It's here to kind of like break mid-game. That's what I'm hoping it's going to do. Not guaranteed it's going to do that. And if he brings the Sand, I have to be careful of like Excadrill or Lycanroc outspeeding, or Excadrill particularly. But again, it's a really, really big offensive presence. Choice Banded Haxorus just hits so hard, so I decided to bring it. So next up we have Hippowdon. Hippowdon is rocking the Rocky Helmet with 240 HP, 132 defense with Impish Nature, 120 Instant Death, and 8 in attack with the moves Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Toxic, and Slack Off. Now we are running split defenses here, mainly because of Tyranitar's Ice Beam. If he decided to be kind of weird and bring a special Tyranitar, that could actually mess me up quite a bit because I don't really have much for that. It's a really, really weird set, but it actually does a decent amount of work to my team. And for the off chance he brought Zebstrika, Hippowdon's my only switch into that. So like, it's really weird that I put the investment in there, but it's just a safety measure. And the physical defense, I didn't really need any more physical defense than what I have. Yes, Excadrill +2 with like a Life Orb does two-shot me, but it's not going to be able to, like, it's going to have a hard time getting up to that without taking an Earthquake, basically. So that was the worry about that. And I can take any physical hit from Genesect, though I do believe he's going to run like Ice Beam or something like that. So I have to be careful. But again, with my investment, if he's not Choice Specs, and he's not boosted in Special Attack, I will live the Ice Beam most of the time, I believe. I don't remember the exact calc. But Hippowdon's here mainly just to, do Hippowdon things, while his Sand, and I have Sand Force over Sandstream to take advantage of his Sand. That's why I wanted to run offensive originally, but I didn't do it in the end, because I just didn't do it. But that's Hippowdon. Next up, we have our second defensive mon. We have Tentacruel. Tentacruel is rocking the Assault Vest this week with 240 HP, 128 defense with a bold nature, and 124 speed def, and a little bit in speed. Moves being Scald, Sludge Bomb, Hidden Power Fire, and Giga Drain. I did want Rapid Spin on this set somewhere, since you do see Volcarona on your set there, but I decided just against it because the way I want to play Volcarona, I'm going to get into it a bit, is a little bit different. But this really walls his special hits. I have arguably one of the best Genesect counters in Tentacruel, because the only thing Genesect can really touch me with is Thunderbolt or Techno Blast with the Shock Drive, and if he brings that, then a lot of things outspeed it. I'm expecting like a Scarf Genesect, if anything, really, or a Shift Gear set. But Tentacruel walls it, and with the Assault Vest, it's not really taking too much damage from it. It also walls the Keldeo, because Keldeo was a little scary for my team. Not too much, but just a bit, since I have Giga Drain for it, but yeah. It walls the Whimsicott into Oblivion. If he wants to lock himself into like a Choice Spec Psychic, be my guest. I'll switch into Greninja after that, and then he'll be stuck in a bad situation. It walls the Weezing well, and it walls the Almastar to an extent too. So Tentacruel has a really good matchup, and even on top of that, his Sand doesn't want to switch into Tentacruel because of the possibility of a Scald Burn. So again, to reiterate, Tentacruel's got a really good matchup this week. The only thing it really doesn't do good against is the Golbat, again, another problem, and Uxie to an extent. But I have answers for Uxie a little bit later. So that's Tentacruel. Next up, we have Mega Diancie. Mega Diancie originally wasn't even on this team, but we are running max special attack, 240 speed with a timid nature, and 16 in defense, so Genesect gets the speed def boost rather than the attack boost, with the moves Rock Polish, Moonblast, Power Gem, and HP Fire. This really hits his team hard, and this is my main way to deal with Golbat. I originally wanted like Rotom Frost on the team to deal with it as a defensive mon, but I decided to just go full offense with Diancie, and this was a good way to deal with that as well. But it's not just here for the Golbat. It mainly is, but it can do more. It beats the Keldeo if it's not Scarf. It beats the Genesect if it's not Scarf. It beats Tyranitar after a little bit of chip damage, and Weezing to an extent. Weezing can't really do too much back to me, so that's why I have it written down here. But it's really good because I can late game Rock Polish and nothing outspeeds this. Even in Sand, Excadrill cannot outspeed Diancie if a Rock Polish is up. So that is a good safety measure late game if I'm able to get it up. And again, I'm expecting the Golbat because it is good against my team, and Diancie can take advantage of that with Rock Polish. So that is the goal for Mega Diancie. Next up, we have Ash Greninja. Ash Greninja is rocking the Life Orb with max attack, 208 speed with timid nature, 40 in defense, and 8 in HP, again to give Genesect that special attack boost, because I'd rather have a special attack boost and I can switch into Tentacruel rather than an attack boost. With the moves Water Shuriken, Scald, Dark Pulse, and Extra Sensory, I went back and forth between Extra Sensory and Gunk Shot, but I felt that Keldeo was a little bit more of a problem, so I decided to throw Extra Sensory on in the end. This is here to late game clean, and if Omastar gets a little out of hand or anything like Excadrill gets out of hand, Water Shuriken is there to make sure they don't get out of hand, because the priority Water Shuriken this week is really nice. And I almost forgot to mention, up to this point, Uxie, at least offensively, I didn't have the greatest ways to deal with it outside of Haxorus, locking into like a Dragon move. So Greninja is another check for that, as Dark Pulse Life Orb just does so much damage to it. It doesn't OHKO it, but after a little bit of chip, it'll do a decent chunk, and he won't want to take it anyway. So that's Greninja. And lastly on the team, I wanted a third defensive mod, but decided to go full offense. We're going with Volcarona this week. Volcarona is rocking the Buginium Z with Fiery Dance, Bug Buzz, Giga Drain, Psychic, Max Attack, 248 speed with Timid Nature, and 8 in HP. This outspeeds Genesect that isn't Scarf basically, and I can take an E speed even with a +1 attack boost. This Volcarona is going to be used in two ways. If he doesn't bring Sand, because he didn't bring it last week, so there's a chance he doesn't bring it. I think he will, but there's a chance he doesn't. But if he doesn't, then I can use this thing late game to clean up his team. But if he does bring Sand, I can use Volcarona early game and just try and nuke something as with the Buginium Z or Psychic if it's Golbat, or Giga Drain if it's Keldeo. So that was the goal for Volcarona. It depends what he brings is how I'm going to use this thing. So I was a little skeptical about that, because Volcarona has a good matchup in the sense that it does good offensively, but he's got a lot of rockers, and he's got a lot of good rock coverage on his team, so that was also kind of scary, switching this thing in as well. So that's why Volcarona was a 50-50 for me, but I decided to bring it in the end, because why not? I'm going to try and get another kill with Volcarona. But that is the team we are rocking with this week. 4 offensive mons. I like to do 3 and 3, but we're doing 4 and 2 this week. That is all. We're going to go over the Pokemon Showdown and watch the battle. So here we are in the battle, and the first thing I'm noticing is that he did not bring his Sand, so that means Hippowdon has not much usefulness in this battle, so I am going to lead with it and get up rocks. Volcarona is looking good late game because his only rocker is Amistar, and I don't think he's going to fit rocks on that set, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to lead off with Hippowdon, as I mentioned, and try and get a Brox. Haxorus is also looking a little iffy in this matchup because he's got Golbat, so spamming Earthquake's not going to be that easy. But turn 1, he's going to go for Super Fang. This is fine with me because I do have the Rocky Helmet, and I can slack off this damage pretty easily. But this turn, I'm hoping to catch him on a Roost, and I'm just going to go into Mega Diancie as it's my best way to deal with Golbat. He is going to go for Super Fang, which it sucks, but, you know, whatever. He is in Power Gem range, so I'm just going to Mega Evolve and click Power Gem. As he does switch in Weezing, and you're going to see here, this Weezing does not take this Power Gem very well at all. Does a nice 59% to this Weezing, and after Rocks, he's going to have a really hard time taking a second one. He's not going to. He does have the Protect to get a little bit of extra Black Sludge coverage. Now at this point, I thought about clicking Moonblast if he was going to switch into Keldeo and take the Power Gem, but I'm just like, I have a good switch into Keldeo, so I'm not going to risk that, and luckily he does stay in as I do just click Power Gem and knock out the Weezing, so that's pretty cool. He goes into Keldeo now, and I'm gonna go into Tentacle because it's a reliable switch in. I don't have much to lose by doing it, as he is just gonna go for Hidden Power, and it is super effective. So it's Hidden Power Ground probably, but it does nothing because it's a Tentacle. As here, I'm just gonna go for Giga Drain, as he does bring in the Golbat, and at this point he's either gonna Defog or Roost. I think he's gonna Roost, but if he wants these rocks away, he's gonna Defog. Obviously, I'm just gonna be aggressive and go right into Diancie because I know he's not gonna click Super Fang, as he does not. And now I get another Power Gem off as he's going to stay in and take it this time. But he actually goes for the U-turn. And that means that unless that Whimsicott's got Defog, this Golbat's dead. So that's really awesome. He goes back into Keldeo, and I'm thinking I could go into Tentacruel, but I want to find out if this thing is Scarf to make sure. And since Golbat is only at 8%, I'm not really scared of it anymore. So that's why I decided to do that. So that confirms that this is a Scarf Keldeo, as he just ends up sacking off the Golbat this turn anyway. So it was a good trade, in my opinion, in the end. Here he goes in the Genesect, and that's fine with me because he's not getting a special attack boost and Thunderbolt, or he's not Technoblast Shock because he's actually the Douse Drive when he sent it in. It tells me what item he is, so now I know that Volcarona can outspeed this thing. As I'm just going to HP Fire this thing. I'm going to Hippowdon because Tentacruel's got really good usefulness still, and I want to keep it, so I'm just going to sack off the Hippowdon to Technoblast Water. But I actually lived the hit, believe it or not. And I'm actually going to knock out this Genesect with an Earthquake, so that's really, really cool actually. Gives me some more momentum in this battle, as we're looking pretty good right now, as he is going to go into Keldeo. I'm just going to sack to see what move he locks himself into. And he locks himself into Icy Wind, which is actually smart on his part because it forces me to go into the Tentacle here because I don't want to lose speed on my Greninja or my Volk, and Haxorus doesn't want to take the hit. Here I thought he'd switch out into Whimsicott and be cheeky, but I just went for Sludge Bomb. I do get a Poison, which is nice I guess, but it's not going to matter too much. This turn I'm just going to Giga Drain because I can Sludge Bomb the following turn if the Whimsicott wants to come in. As he is lowering my speed, but it's not that big of a deal, and it's just, this Giga Drain is just going to put him in range of the poison damage, so Keldeo is going to go down, and his only hope to win at this point is that Shell Smashing Amistar, but I think I have good ways to deal with it at this point. He's going to go to the Whimsicott. I'm going to click Sludge Bomb. He does Encore me into it, which is actually a really smart play on his part, and I'm going to Giga Drain, so I'm kind of stuck into this. I'm going to go into Volcarona because I don't want this thing to think of like a substitute. That would be really annoying, but however, he is just going to fire off his Z Memento, and like, that sucks in the case that now Amistar does get the setup, but it's not that big of a deal because Greninja does have Water Shuriken, as I mentioned in the team builder, so I could Giga Drain this thing, and it won't kill it because of the -2, and he's going to get up his Shell Smash, but in the end, I'm just going to bring in Greninja and Water Shuriken it up. So this is basically a GG at this point. A pretty quick battle. He is going to just nuke my nuke town with a Surf, so Volcarona goes down, but again, Greninja's going to come in and wrap this battle up with Water Shuriken. So we're going to win this game 3-0 and move up to a 6-3 record. So, yep, GG to Jack. I do think that we definitely had a really good matchup against Jack this week. So there's only so much he could do in this battle, but I think he put a really good effort into this battle. But again, GG to Jack. We're going to move up to a 6-3 record, and now playoffs are very likely unless we lose like -6 both games and everyone else wins, and there's a chance I could lose out, but it's pretty likely at this point. Next week, we take on Tangela Boots. My man, he is above us in our conference. He's the only team above us at the moment, unless Young Bisharp wins this week, which I'm not sure if he has battled yet or whatever. But stay tuned for that. I'm not sure how serious this battle is going to be, considering he's already clinched and I'm about to clinch, so I'm not sure how much or seriously we're going to take this battle. So you guys know for next week. You guys know the team builder. But anyway, that is all I have for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like on this video. It helps support me a lot. If you like Pokemon Draft League content, consider subscribing to the channel, as I am posting a lot more Draft League content. That's all I got for you guys. I'm head out of here. Have a fantastic day, YouTube.